My name is Colley Bailey, and I'm a realtor here in Fayetteville, Arkansas with Fathom Realty, and I'm here to provide you with your premium real estate experience. All right, you're in the market to buy a new house, but you're still living in your current house. So how do we make this transition as easy as possible? Do you go ahead and sell your first house and then scramble to find your next one? Do you find a house to put an offer on and then hope you can sell the first one quickly enough to close on the second one? First, let's talk about contingencies. Contingencies are things you can't be sure will happen or not. Usually they are events that are dependent upon another event happening or not happening. So if X happens, then Y happens. But if X doesn't happen, then Y doesn't happen either. So when we're talking about real estate contingencies, we're usually talking about the sale or the purchase of a property being contingent upon another event or condition. There are a few of these that are already pre-written into the Arkansas Real Estate Contract, such as the property being able to pass an inspection and to be in a condition that is acceptable to the buyer. Another contingency in the real estate contract is that the sale may be dependent upon the buyer being able to get financing. And typically this is done through a lender, which will request that an appraisal be done. If the property doesn't appraise at the right amount, the lender might not finance that deal. Now, other contingencies may be added to the contract, but extra contingencies above and beyond what's already pre-written into the contract may weaken a buyer's offer to purchase. Let's look at the best case scenarios and then see what happens as we add contingencies and other options. So the best case scenario is to buy the second house and then sell the first house. Of course, this means that you have to be able to qualify for and carry two notes at the same time, at least until the first one closes. But if this is an option for you, it puts you in a great position as a buyer and as a seller. You can take your time and make sure you're choosing the house you actually want without having to feel rushed. And then you can sell your first house without worrying about the transition because you've already got the next house lined up. There are no contingencies involved, so it puts you in a great position of strength on both transactions. Now, the second best option would be to go ahead and sell your first house and then rent while you're looking for your next home. This option keeps you in a strong position as a seller and a buyer, and no contingencies are necessary, just like if you were to buy the second house and then sell the first. However, the rent house might not be the ideal place for you to live for the few months that you need it. It might be hard to find a short-term rental, and you will probably have to put a few things in storage. But while it has some temporary inconveniences, this may actually be the best option for you, particularly if you're moving to a new state or a new area and you need some time to find the right house to purchase. Now, sometimes sellers want to wait to find their new house before they commit to selling their current house. There is a pre-written option for buying a home contingent upon the sale of another home that's already included under Section 14 of the Arkansas Real Estate Contract. However, if you put in an offer on a house that is contingent upon the sale of a house that's not even on the market yet, this is a really weak offer. Most sellers will not accept this offer, especially in a strong seller's market when they can reasonably expect to receive other offers on the house. They know how much work they've had to do to get the property ready for market, and they will seriously doubt your ability to do all that, find a buyer, and close on it all within a short amount of time. A better way to do this is to go ahead and list your current home, get it under contract, and then put an offer on the new house. This is a much stronger contingent offer because we can say that the offer is contingent upon the sale of a property that's already under contract and is already in the process of closing, and we can give dates and times accordingly. If we have to use a sale contingency, this is the better way to do it. Now, another option which may work for you depending on the situation and depending on the buyer is the leaseback. Essentially, you are selling your home to someone who will allow you to remain in the home as a tenant and pay rent to them while you look for your new home. This option works particularly well if you're selling to an investor who is going to rent the home anyway. They would love to start generating income on a property as soon as they close on it without having to do anything else to it. In a leaseback situation, you have two separate contracts. First, you sell the house to the new buyer with a standard Arkansas real estate contract, and they become the new legal owner. Then you'll sign a residential lease agreement, which lays out the terms of the rental. Now, it may be a month to month, it may be a year lease with the option to end it early. It's whatever you decide in that contract. And another situation this works for outside of selling to an investor is if you're selling to a buyer who was buying their second house first before they sell their first house. They were already expecting to cover 2 notes, but this option allows your rent payment to cover their mortgage while they sell their first house and you look for your second house. So that has the potential to be a great win-win for the right buyer and seller combination. Well, those are my top suggestions for making a smooth transition from one home to the next. And as you can see, there are some straightforward options and some that are a little more complicated. But don't worry, as your real estate professional, I'd be happy to discuss these options with you and help you choose the right strategy for you and your family. As always, remember to like, subscribe, and share this video if it's been helpful for you. If you have any more questions, feel free to give me a call at 479-856-9422. Visit my website at baileypremiumproperties.com or email me at colleybailey@gmail.com. Thanks.